Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review slash knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Flytanium Beef, the $60 Flytanium Beef. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I love this knife. It's really cool. There are a couple of things that they could do to make a version of this in the future that would be outrageously epic. But this is a good knife. I'm going to recommend it. I've got a lot to say, and I still want you here. But if you just want to find out if I recommend it, yeah, it's a really good value. This is just a good knife. I'll link it right down below. You guys can check it out if you want to. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and make sure that your notifications for the Metal Complex YouTube channel are turned on. So I want to mention this right at the beginning of the video here. Not only is it, a well-made, like super utilitarian knife, there's so many good things about this. It's in a lot of ways, people could look at this and say it doesn't look like anything really all that new. For me, the immediate thought was it's kind of like when Benchmade came out with the bug out, and I was like, I like the idea, but the whole knife is just a little small for me. Like I kind of like, okay, take the like ultra lightweight compact thing and toss it, give me a little more meat, make it a little bigger. That's kind of what this feels like. It feels like a big tank version. Like if you fed the bug out gamma radiation and steroids for a bit, this feels bigger. It, in a lot of ways, the blade makes me think a lot of, it's not exactly the same, but it gives me Benchmade Contigo vibes. And the Contigo is kind of like a hulking version of the 940. At least that's kind of how I see it. Yeah, like that's how it is. But it still manages to be a knife that's not humongo jumbo Gorgatron town. It's still a good compact knife. It just feels meaty. It feels more muscular, more powerful. I like that. Let's go ahead and measure it. The overall length of the Flytanium Beef is coming in at 8 inches. So it's not absolutely massive. It's a full-size knife. Blade length is 3.5. Cutting edge is 3.35. Let's do some size comparisons. Any custom scales in this section can be found down in the description under Original Go and Others. Up against the 8010 and my own Excalibur, it's a full-size knife. Not quite as big as these guys, but definitely a full-size knife. Let's put it up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3. About the same size as the PM2, a little bigger than the Para 3. And finally, we'll put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue and the Hogue Deca. Almost identical in overall size to the Ritter Hogue. How's the action? This is a crossbar lock, and it works really, really well. I know people are kind of tired and bored with the crossbar lock, and we're going to come back to that, but it does work really well. Flytanium has some super high-tension Omega springs on this thing. The thumb studs are good. I wish they were domed. Flipping it over and over again does get slightly uncomfortable. I always, talk about my favorite thumb studs are going to be the thumb studs that are on like the Ontario Rat. These are so much more comfortable. But this is fine. It's totally fine, and it's very easy to manipulate, and those high-tension Omega springs make it nice and snappy, and man, like you can see right here, like it really just, they're heavy. They're heavy, and it feels, that lock really is like aggressively shoving itself up behind that lock face there. So it's nice to see the high-tension stuff. I think that's great, and it just feels really solid. The action is very, very good. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, it's not just that, but the pivot action as well. Let's go ahead and do carry profile thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It is maybe a little bit thicker, a little bit, not crazy, though. This is beefy in a good way. I think a lot of people look at this and think that it's going to be some like tank knife. No, it's beefy, but it's still not a huge knife. Length and height here, very, very easy to carry. The height isn't crazy. It just feels like a normal, full-size pocket knife. Bigger than something like the Para 3, but not like, the 8010 or anything like that. Let's go ahead and do a hardware check. I'm going to get out my tools. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. That is not the head. It's a false head over there. This is a T8 And then the body screws are also T8. You have 2 over here, and then you have 2 for the pocket clip, which I believe are, oh, that might actually be T8 as well. No, they're T6. That's fine. You have a filler screw over here. Crossbar lock, a little frustrating to do it the first time, but far from impossible. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Let's weigh it. What are we looking at for materials? We are looking at an awesome forest green G10. In this case, there's a few different color combinations here with the thumb studs. We've got a little yellow. I don't know if they Cerakote these or what they do, but it looks nice. Then we have a 14C28N blade, which is great. Let's go ahead and weigh it. We are looking at 4.4 ounces. Can't say I really expected anything different. There's quite a bit of weight in the blade, though, so the balance is right there behind the pivot. Oops. Right there behind the pivot. And so it really doesn't make it feel like an incredibly heavy knife, even though the ratios are not absolutely perfect, right? The weight to blade length ratio, it's really honestly just feels great. Blade stock thickness is the last thing that we need to do, and I'm going to make a guess here that we're looking at it's probably 125 to 135. Let's find out. It's 124 thousandths, so there we go. Meat and potatoes time. What a beautifully ergonomic knife. It just feels extremely capable. I have handled many knives with a similar profile, and it kind of seems like, okay, Complex, we're over celebrating like entry-level stuff here, and I think it's fair to look at it that way. No problem. But I can't help but feel this way every time. If I pick up a knife and I'm like, this just works. It just feels really, really good. These subtle little curvatures here, the little chamfering, it just feels like they went that extra little bit to make sure that the user felt locked in and confident. This is a knife that I could easily, comfortably use. If you have to go out and you have to use a knife and actually cut things for even like 15 minutes at a time, oh my God, it really does. If you have a knife that's not suited for the human hand, it makes it so much harder and so much less comfortable. This is a knife, eventually my hand's going to wear out, my forearm's going to wear out, right? But this is a knife that will do most of the work for me for as long as possible. It really is incredibly comfortable. I also love the curvature here, the lock-in zone for your thumb. I think it just feels great. And there's a little bit of a warning like, hey, buddy, you're getting too high up on the handle. You might want to take it a step back before you run your finger up on the blade. It's nice to be able to get your fingers so close. The thumb stud position, unfortunately, is ever so slightly in the initial part of the cutting edge, but, maybe a 1/4 inch, not that much. You should be okay. I never actually ran into it. I like the look of it. It's straightforward. This is a little peel ply texturing. Looks good, feels good. It's very straight, right? They managed to put a pretty tall blade into this handle without the whole knife being excessively tall. We got a flat here that runs out maybe 70% the length of the blade, keeps some good thickness out there. Pretty strong. 14C28N is going to be pretty tough in general. I think the fact that it is 14C28N is going to, and the fact that it's only $60, this is the type of knife that you really can, you buy it and it's a super dependable EDC. You can take it out and, beat on it within reason. And then you beat it up and the edge is all chewed up. Well, guess what? It's 14C28N. It's not tough to resharpen. You can get it back to an edge pretty easily. And it probably won't be super chewed up because 14C28N is so tough. It's more likely that the edge will have rolled instead of chipped, meaning it'll be very, very easy to bring it back to life. And that's really what makes 14C28N such a good blade steel. It's just Flytanium on one side and Flytanium on the other side, which is fine. The backspacer, just a simple G10 backspacer. We have a lanyard hole here. We have a pocket clip that works just fine. I wish that we didn't have the flat end of the bill here, but it's fine. I can't complain too much. Very straightforward and nested a little bit into the frame here, but easy. It goes into the pocket and carries completely deep, and you can mount it for left or right hand carry, which absolutely should be the case given that the crossbar lock is an ambidextrous locking system. We have a stop pin back here. It does run on bearings, by the way. Absolutely no blade play up, down, left, or right. No lock stick. No pivot lash. Consistent, right? We're running on the rounded tang, I guess. But if we were to pull it all the way back, you can see here. It's very, very smooth. It's catching the tang there, but it does want to sort of swing. And then a nice snap into the closed position, and this has remained centered the entire time I've had it. Yeah, it's a great knife. This needs to be they really should collab with Demco on this one. You gotta throw the shark lock on this guy. I don't know. It just feels like it's meant to be. I don't know. I mean, they'd have to charge more for it, right? Let's say they have to charge 75 or 80 because it's got the Demco shark, maybe even more than that, right? It would be awesome. This is such a good knife. I love that it just screams tool. It just screams like, I'm a knife that you want to buy one knife for the next like decade or 2 decades. Like this is it. Like this is, and you don't want to go over $60. You need it to be capable, right? And functional, reliable, all of that. This feels like you could make that choice and this would be an excellent choice. The only thing that's holding it back slightly is the fact that they are using Omega springs. And while you could go 20 years and never break an Omega spring knife, I've got tons and tons of Omega spring knives here. Some get used way more than others. For example, the Ritter Hogue gets deployed at least once a day. And I have a lot of uploads. A lot. And I've never broken the spring on that one. I've never broken an Omega spring on any Omega spring knife, but other people have had their knives for one day and they've broke, right? Now, it won't be hard to get replacement Omega springs, but it's better to not have to worry about it. The Shark Lock, I think we can all agree, or other locking systems like the Shark Lock, it's superior, right? So this is fine. I wish that they would either work with Andrew Demko or develop their own, right? Or work with Snex to put a super lock on something like this. I think that would be awesome. But even without a better locking system, right? A lot of people are just going to say this is boring, right? I don't think this is boring. I think this is awesome. I think if you pick it up, you'll really enjoy it. The fact that it's only $60 just makes perfect sense to me. And I mean, I have nothing bad. This is a very recommendable knife, and it's also going to go in my cheap knives I like playlist. Definitely pick it up. If you ever have felt like I like the idea, I like the aesthetic, the straight lines of the bug out, it's just too small and dainty for me. This big old meaty boy, it's a big old, just thunderous, it's just a bigger, tankier knife, and it just feels better without being too big. Very recommendable. Thank you so much, Flytanium. I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep this in my collection. I enjoy it very much. I think it's an awesome knife. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.